Okay. Now let's continue talking about other manners of articulation. Remember, manner of articulation, like we just said in the previous video clip, is the manner in which the air is expelled when announcing a sound. We talked about stop sounds, in which the air is completely blocked and then released. Completely blocked and then released. Now the next set of sounds are described as fricative sounds. Fricative sounds are sounds in which there is a close approximation, a very close approximation of two articulators, okay? So that the airstream is partly blocked, but not as much as it is in stop sounds. As a result, there is turbulent airflow, and these sounds are long. Long because the air takes longer to be expelled. And we have the following fricative sounds. The majority of sounds, in fact, are fricative sounds. We have, which is a voiceless interdental fricative. Then we have which would be described as what? Right, voiced interdental fricative. Next we have well, we know that it's voiceless. What's the place of articulation, remember? Sh. Post-alveolar, right. So this sound is voiceless, it is post-alveolar, and it is fricative. Then we have z. Z is post-alveolar, just like sh, except it's voiced. So z is the voiced post-alveolar fricative. Then we have we know that it's voiceless, right? Remember the place of articulation? Lower lip touching the upper teeth. Right, labiodental. Is a voiceless labiodental sound. Is its voiced counterpart, namely a voiced labiodental fricative. Then we have s. S is voiceless, and its place of articulation is what? S. Right, alveolar. So it's a voiceless. S is a voiceless alveolar fricative, whereas z in words such as is and was and zoo is a voiced alveolar fricative. And finally we have which is voiceless. And what's the place of articulation? Right, velar. It's not velar, it's glottal. Glottal, apologize, okay? It's a voiceless glottal fricative whose counterpart is the sound remember? Which is a voiced glottal stop. Okay, so remember that for each sound there is only one description that matches, and also likewise for each description there is only one sound that matches. So for example, if I ask you to tell me which is the voiceless labiodental fricative, it would be what? Voiceless labiodental fricative. Right. How about the voiced interdental fricative? Voiced interdental fricative. Right. How about the voiced alveolar fricative? Voiced alveolar fricative. So you need to think of a sound that is voiced, that is produced at the alveolar ridge, and that is fricative. Therefore, we have z. Okay. The idea is for you to think of 3 examples with each of these fricative sounds, write them down, and practice saying them. Ask for help if you need it, okay? On the next slide, we have yet another manner of articulation, which refers to approximant sounds. Approximate sounds are sounds in which one articulator is close to another, but without the vocal tract being narrowed to such an extent that a lot of air can escape. Okay, so it's not a stop, it's not a fricative, but it's something a little bit different, an approximant. Approximant sounds in English are y, w, and r. Again, y, w, and r. When I finish up with the next slide, I want you to take a minute to come up with examples, 3 examples for each of these approximate sounds, okay, and practice reading them. But I want to complement this slide with slide 31, where we have that approximate sounds are classified into different types. The first one is the central approximant. The central approximant is the sound in which the air escapes through the middle of the tongue, through the middle of the tongue. And it's the sound I want you to produce the and feel how or where the air is being expelled. See, the air is being expelled out the center or the middle of your tongue. Okay? So the air is really directed in one specific area of the tongue. And again, you're asked to think of examples with and to read them out loud. Remember, is always spelled R. The next type of approximant is the lateral approximant. Lateral or lateral approximant. If you pay attention to the sound, you see that the air is being blocked, but it is expelled out the laterals or the sides of the tongue. As compared to I want you to say both and pay attention to how the air is being expelled. Okay? Again, you're asked to think of 3 examples with and practice saying them out loud. Then we have a sound which does not exist in English, but it does exist in Spanish, and it's the trill. That symbol is an R, and it is pronounced R, not R, nor R. It's R. The trill, like I said, is not found in English, though it is found in Spanish in words such as perro, rojo, but many dictionaries, English dictionaries, unfortunately, use this symbol to refer to the English R. But at this point in this course, you shall know that that's a different phoneme, okay? Because R is one sound, but is a completely different sound, okay? And words such as read and argue, okay? So you need to be careful that for this course and from now on, you need to recognize the difference between R and even though most conventional dictionaries do not make a difference, okay? Then we have the tap. The tap is another approximate sound, okay? And it's a sound, and it's just described as a tap. The manner of articulation is a tap. Remember, a tap is a single tap, tap, tap of the tip of the tongue against the alveolar ridge, okay? In words such as pity, better, butter, batter, and quarter, okay? You're welcome to think of other additional examples with this sound and practice saying them. Finally, we have affricates. Actually, not finally, because we also have nasals. But the next manner of articulation is affricates. We have 2 types of affricates, or 2 affricates, not 2 types, 2 affricates in English. Affricates are a stop immediately followed by a fricative. A stop followed by a fricative. So what sounds do you think those could be? Right. Ch and j. Ch, j. Those are affricates. Listen to the pronunciation of this word. Affricates. Affricate sounds. And you're asked to think of at least 3 examples with ch and 3 examples with j. Okay? And then there's one manner of articulation which I don't include in this presentation. I don't know why, but I remember. and it's nasal sounds. Remember, nasal sounds are sounds in which the air escapes out the nasal cavity. So we have and the three of which are nasal when it comes to manner of articulation. So again, now you're ready to describe every single consonant sound in 2 weeks. We have learned, hopefully, to not only recognize each individual consonant sound, but also allophones such as d and n. And we have also learned to identify most contexts in which those sounds occur, and we are able to describe each consonant sound in terms of 3 features, which were right, voicing, place of articulation, and manner of articulation. Now I'm going to leave you with 2 exercises to work on from home, and when you have them, you're welcome to take a picture of the exercise and send me it so I can check. On slide 35, you have a picture of the oral tract. Okay? What you're asked to do is individually, not in pairs because now we're not at school anymore, to write the name of all the places of articulation in the oral tract by using arrows as needed. So remember, places of articulation are bilabial, labiodental, alveolar, interdental, postalveolar, palatal, velar, and uvular. You need to write all of those places of articulation in this picture and draw an arrow pointing at the exact place of articulation. Also, the idea is to think of examples for each, not examples, to write all of the sounds that are produced at each place of articulation. For example, if I were to list the sounds that are produced in that are glottal sounds. So you would write an arrow what the glottis is and say glottal sounds, and then write the 2 sounds that are glottal, which were, what was the voiceless glottal fricative? Which one was it? And then the voiced glottal stop, which was? Right. Also on slide 36, I have quite a few other videos on YouTube, which are not my videos, and they are complementary and could be very useful to complement what I have been saying throughout these videos. On page 37, it refers to the text, pages 27 to 30. Let me quickly look at the anthology, and then I'm going to tell you which page exactly you're supposed to look at to conduct the next exercise. Okay, the next exercise that you have to do at home is just a second. I don't know where it is. It's the exercise on page 36. Okay, on page 36, you have a chart. And in that chart, what you need to do is fill in the blanks by providing the correct symbol under the correct column. Okay, so for example, in the first column, we are asked to write bilabial sounds. We know that in English, we have 4 bilabial sounds. But you also need to place them underneath the correct column. For example, P is a voiceless bilabial stop, and we write it there. Whereas B is a voiced bilabial stop. But M is a nasal bilabial stop. Okay? Whereas W is an approximant or a semi-vowel bilabial consonant, which is fricative. So you need to find the right place in the chart to write all total of 26 consonant sounds that we have in English, including the 2 allophones, R and N. Okay, once you do that, you're welcome to take a picture of your chart and send it to me so that I can check it and give you feedback. I'll give you a few days to work on this, and then I'm actually going to give you myself the answers to both these last exercises. Have a great rest of the week. I'm available for questions if you want to practice, if you send me recordings. Bye. Take care. I'm off for now.